and I just mix it around. I'm like, oh, look at that! Whoa, I can just mix it every different direction, and it's fine.
Awesome. So go check it out. Well, my awesome thing, of course, is the Starlink. I'm not going to pull it out of the box. Had to get a new case for it and everything to be able to and figure out how to We figured out how to do media passes for the airport.
We're adults.
Yo, she took a long time with my media pass when we were coming out of Long Beach, by the way. I didn't get to tell you that yesterday. She was really inspecting. I just flashed it at the girl at Pittsburgh, and she's like, okay, put the oversized, and took it away and told me to go over to the big crazy thing to drop it off where everybody takes their skis. But this time, I was just like, oh no. I hope Missy did the right thing because there's a random barcode and numbers on there, and I was like, I don't know what that means, but I hope it works. But no, so we got to figure that out, and now I'm going to much more efficiently be bringing equipment with me on these. And of course, I don't have a flight scheduled until November now, so
perfect.
Just in time. It'll go great thrown in the back of the rental cars for the Michigan and Pennsylvania trips. Anywho, we have so we did the Starlink situation. Again, we are in the desert. We're in California, in the high desert above Los Angeles, and it's classically not had a lot of internet. Katie is there with me, video photography for this event, and so and I'm like, I gotta stream this awards ceremony. I gotta shore this up. It's an expense, it whatever needs to get this done, we can use this. And we've been bitten multiple times with showing up places that should have internet, and then something happened where the internet just didn't happen. So in Missy, we trust Sorg, trust with the flights. Absolutely. Thank you, partner, in the chat room. But anyways, so we get there, and our friends at DES, Mike Zeman was, I knew he was bringing his because they needed to do operations for their scoring technology they needed to do for the event. We have an interview with Mike from years ago, I think, talking about the scoring that they do over there. Some very, very cool tech stuff. But then we show up, and we're just like, there's 3 other Starlinks all around, and we're like, what is happening? He's like, I didn't know about these until today. It's like, okay. SpaceX apparently sponsored the internet at the location, and there were several Starlinks around, so there was like a lot of internet offered for the students that were there as well, because cell service was it was like a bar or two if we were lucky for the most part. So there was at least access to internet, and whenever we were in a Wi-Fi bubble as we were around the site, obviously not out on the track or anything like that, but enough that we could get done and get things to SAE for social media work and things like that. And you can see some of Katie's videos and pictures on the SAE University Programs account, by the way. So there you go. Already out there. I like that. But anyways, so we learned some things. We learned some things about how the Starlink works. We learned, how well it's going to work with something like a live view when you don't have much going on. Now, originally, I was supposed to have, I did of sorts. For whatever reason, I was supposed to be able to get on the Wi-Fi and be able to on somebody else's Starlink as a backup, because you don't want to be on just one thing. And I learned a really good reason why during this. And it wasn't the reason that we talked about, because I was kind of explaining that, hey, there's some downtime sometimes because you just, as the satellites come and go, sometimes there's a gap in an outage, maybe once an hour or something like that. And that's what you need to circumvent. The other outage you need to worry about is students don't give a crap about your Starlink setup and all the cones around it. Okay, I'm going to load this up, and this is what we had set up. I don't think this is full resolution, but you'll get the idea. This is the setup. It's a nice little panel. It's propped up. I got cones around it. It's great. It's going to my case. I'm at the first thing over there, and you see how remote we are here in the desert. That's the setup, the same kind of small setup. If you follow me on Instagram and everything that we've done in the past. And by the way, look how filthy that MacBook is. That's probably about an hour into being set up under the tent in the high, the blowing around wind that was happening during this thing. But yeah, so the problem was this place was so full of students because everybody's bundled in there because everybody wants to get out of the wind, and there's well over 1,000 students. I think this is a video to show you how, no, that's us. I think there's a video to show you how windy it was for a little bit of perspective here. It was whip nose. I'm surprised nobody got hurt from that being snapped on somebody, the walls of these tents. But the problem was nobody gave a crap about the Starlink, stepped over it, and these entire teams would be leaving the tent and coming in the front, but they would walk through the area with all the cones. because I'm sitting there and I'm like, why are we dropping? I'm watching the connection like bounce back and forth, and I keep looking over my shoulder. I don't see anybody standing in front of the Starlink. So for the last couple of how long did I disappear? The last couple of events they were giving awards out for, I just went and guarded this thing and tried to direct people around it. And I'm telling everybody to the left of the satellite dish, to the left of the satellite dish. And then I literally have to physically stop people from going to the right. It's like, no, around the satellite dish, right? On top of that, when I was testing it 2 days before, just to make sure everything worked, to make sure we were good to go, so there's no surprise on that last day. We have a small window to set up. So if there's any problems, it could kill the whole project. I'm sitting there, and there's you saw the windows if you're on our video version for these tents. So first of all, again, it's set up, and these students just gather over it to the point where one guy was straddling it, talking to his friends as I'm trying to test it. I had to lift up the thing and say, hey, can you step away from my internet? I literally looked over, saw somebody pick up this panel, and it's just like a panel with a little prop on it to prop it up towards the sky at an angle, right? He picked it up, looked at it, and threw it down. Why are you throwing my hundreds of dollar satellite on the ground, man? He's lucky I had a wall between me and him. So I don't know what the heck was going on with these students. I don't know if they're just sunburnt and sandburnt from the weekend, that they were just out of their damn minds. So we are setting up like a fortress around this thing next time we're required to use it for one thing. So we're actually going to use it out in Speedway, and I don't think there's supposed to be anybody around us, but I think they'll find a way. But we also have other internets there, so we're not going to be quite as dependent on the Starlink. We're kind of just bringing it as a backup for everything to make sure we have something a little more secure than 1,000 kids getting on all the cell networks across the event or anything like that. So that was I highly recommend it if you do need to work in a remote location. I think it works. It probably works much better than what we're doing for streaming. You almost just need more than one Starlink at this point for reliability. We did have fallback because we did have a little bit of cellular, and if we are of course able to get a secondary thing on it, that'd be great too. For whatever reason, I don't think I can finish the thought. We connected to the other network. It worked fine on my laptop, but for whatever reason, the live view would not connect to it. I don't know if he might have had a block. I got to talk to him about that. So regardless, I mean, we had a few drops, a few glitches here and there, but for having broadcast from the desert, I think we did a very, very good job of delivering that event and everything. So I think we were I was very happy with that for the most part. So, but yeah. So Katie, I don't know. You didn't really get to experience much of this, other than you got to use some of the Starlink for your own phone usage as well during this event.
Yes. Yes, I got to use it for my own interneting. But no, it worked really well. I thought it was easy to connect to. Like, all of it was pretty, it was neat. It was just like having a regular Wi-Fi in the desert. So it was pretty darn cool. And I think the signal was great. Like, I didn't have any issues. I was able to do whatever. Didn't notice really a big difference.
And it was interesting because, just kind of the look at, I did take a screen cap, and I was telling you about this afterwards, and I forgot to show you this. It does have a section in the app where it tells you what your outages are looking like. So you can see, I was getting nothing for the 2 second, 5 second, and the 0.1 second ones, basically the under 2 seconds ones. And everything was 0.6, 0.8 seconds. And that's enough to interrupt the video stream, right? And you see, if you're watching on this, we started around probably around 310-ish or 310, 318-ish, right? And you see the no signal, you see that. And actually, that no signal received, that probably was the satellite dropout or something. No, actually, that's probably the obstructions. That's probably absolutely the obstructions. So that's every time a student decided to stand beside or over the satellite dish. So considering that, everybody seems happy with it. We delivered the stream, and even as it was, I saw the video drop, but I never really heard the audio drop out in my monitoring of this thing. Also, I don't know, because I'm also watching the video back on the thing that's going out, so I don't know if the glitch is on my end or what went out. So, But again, there were plenty of people in the chat room. I know we had at least 100 people watching that thing from all around because we have teams from Brazil and Mexico and all kinds of places there. So it's always a really, really cool event. So excited for that. Again, next we have Michigan for Formula. We are actually going to be working with the Brazil team of volunteers to be live streaming that. So it's going to be a fun experiment. We're going to be working with a lot of volunteers there at the FSAE situation there. Then Katie and I will be going to Williamsport, Pennsylvania for our first ever in-state Baja event.
Yeah, that's wild.
After all these years, this is the first time it's in my own state. So, but yeah, no, it'll be fun to go do that and see what they have in store for us. And then that'll be the most. Then maybe I can breathe and be at home for a couple weeks. We'll see about that before we go back out for Michigan again later in June. So, but yeah, no, that is it. So again, highly recommend it. And again, cost wise, I gotta say for what you're getting, it's not terrible. It's something like $600 or $700 for the dish itself, which you got to pick up at Best Buy, and we got the travel one. And then service is about $150 a month, which is what a lot of us pay for our home internet anyways. So especially if they're doing stuff like what we do here at the office and things like that, right? It does seem to be about 20 megs up. It feels very cable-y, where it's like something like 200 down, 20 up, which is plenty for what we're trying to do with the stream, here, but obviously there could be some reasons that if you're trying to do multiple streams or need more of a data upload situation, a massive data upload situation, big files kind of situation, that's definitely going to bog you down, especially if you are sharing that amongst multiple people. So we were able to, that's fine for us, but maybe not every situation. So going out to your camper and doing a video podcast maybe not be the best of deal up in the mountain or something like that, right? So anyways, so that is that. We will and of course we're going to be bringing that. It's going to be a nice backup as we go to other events, and hopefully we won't need it, but at least we do have options. We're not dead in the water when it turns out the cell towers are full or non-existent, or somebody cuts the DSL with a backhoe. So real things I can say. Anywho, did I use? My mom wants to know if I used her Best Buy. I don't think I did. I need to double check that now. Anyways, now I'm concerned. Mom's on the stream and she's wondering if I used her Best Buy to buy the Starlink. No, Mom, they accidentally logged us out, so we didn't even get credit on our account for the Starlink. So yeah. Yes, this isn't Tuesday. No, the wrestling promotions we do fine on the cell service actually in the chat room. Anyways, thank you everybody that does support the show no matter what night we end up on. Of course, this is a weird alternate night because we have been traveling. A programming note next week, because there's been a shift in our travel situation. We will be actually probably broadcasting from a hotel room in Michigan. I don't know where in Michigan yet. I don't know if I'm keeping my hotel because some things have changed. I might need to get a different one that's in a different location. So, but thank you everybody to support the show. This is why we still do it. This is why I will set up a studio in a hotel room next week. Our friends at this Coffee Club level, Cynthia Klosky, fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, Matt Weller, John DeGore, and Dave Profbod Partner. Spouse of Rooster Affair at roosteraffair.com. Thank you, everybody that is supporting the show with everything as well. So, again, Katie, let's keep the tips for the end of the show here. But we do have a couple of news items to get into. Wait, did the Riz accept? He was not joking about that?
Nope. I messaged him today, and I bribed him with tacos.
Is the Riz also going to do the marathon with you and Taco Mania with us?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He asked me, he's like, are you also wrestling? And I was like, I will buy you tacos.
I literally just got off the call with the producer of that, of the video producer for that show for this. Looking forward to what they are, friends. Again, if you're Pittsburgh area, Taco Mania. Wait, I'm bearing the lead. Pittsburgh Marathon first. You support Katie.
Sure, we're going right into
Katie. Sorry, tacos. I'm sorry. You are doing a very good thing, raising money for 412 Thrive, running in the Pittsburgh Marathon. But, of course, you cannot blame me for being distracted by tacos and beer.
Understood. Yeah. It's yeah, I get it.
But you do have a
But
lot.
yes.
We are sharing that. I think we've shared that in the group as well, and a
Hmm.
lot of our social medias, so you can support what's going on there. Are you still looking for places for the relay?
Yes, because currently I have it's me and Riz and one other person, so I am currently doing the second leg and the fourth and the fifth. So I might as well have signed up for a half
What time is this in the morning?
early. Probably 7.
Yeah, I don't need sleep.
Yeah.
Let me think. Let me think about this for a moment. Let me
You
think.
would get two. You would be the second one to go,
Let
and
me
I could just do
know.
fourth and fifth.
Let me know where you're at by Saturday morning. Okay.
Okay.
Don't
Hopefully, fingers
don't
crossed.
tell me how long the legs are.
800
Don't
miles.
tell me how long the legs are. And
Riz was like, "It's a 5K," and I'm like, "Exactly, it's a 5K.
wait, is
Easy
it not?
peasy.
Is it not a 5K?
Depends on the leg."
This is a this.
So,
Okay, okay. Well, I'm glad we've drug you through the desert so for your unofficial training for this.
yep, that's all I've done.
You have a note here for Six Flags Magic Mountain. I didn't know what you wanted to
Yes.
talk about it for the as it pertained to the show.
I was just like, we need to talk about it. We went there. We rode roller coasters. We went. Ooh, what was? Ooh, tell them about our favorite one. That was what was that one called? Yeah, and I have to look it up because I
The
didn't.
Scream.
No, that one was no. That was the dumb one that got stuck going up the hill that I almost walked away from. That was a fun ride.
The Full Throttle.
Yes, full throttle.
Wait, first
That was fun.
tell them your first experience with this thing as we were walking by the back end of it.
The full throttle?
Yes,
Oh,
the tunnel.
the tunnel. Yeah, we were just so we're on the back end. So you can you can take an incline. It's like being at home. You take an incline to the top of Magic Mountain, where the Coles or the where the Kaufmans used to be, and then you make and then you go and so like all we see is this ride on this white track shoot up backwards. Wait, no, we hear
We
I
hear
don't even know
Crazy
what's
Train.
Crazy Train, and they're like in a tunnel. We're watching them, and it shoots backwards like this up a hill or like a hill, and then shoots back down. And there was another classic rock song. What was the other one? Was
I
that
don't know.
one song?
I can't tell you what song that actually played when we did the ride.
No.
It wasn't
Mm-mm.
Crazy
And
Train.
then, mm-hmm.
But we watched
It's like,
them happen. This happened twice, and we're like, "What ride is this?" Because this is one of those parks where all the roller coasters intertwine. You don't know where the entrance is. What coaster am I looking at? It's another white coaster. What the hell is that thing, right? So
yeah.
yeah,
So this ride in particular is known as, well, I guess apparently there's a long history of world records at Six Flags Magic Mountain. It is the #1 tallest and fastest looping roller coaster in the world.
there's my stolen picture of that. So there's a picture of that, and as you can see, we're having a blast. So
Yeah, it was wild. It was so much fun. And the loop, the first loop, so it's like it's magnetic, like one where like the reverses polarization and goes pew, and you just take off and you go up and inside the loop and it stops for a second. It pauses. You're upside down for just a few seconds,
there's some
just
hang
long enough.
time. There's some hang time.
Yeah, just long enough. Like I literally could look around and be like, "Oh wait, we're upside down," and then you go, and the rest of the way. And this is the ride, and something we were excited about was this is the ride that we saw on TikTok where the operators could be a little snarky, and it was so funny to watch.
Yeah, to the point where like they're like, "Hey guys, what does the letter A sound like?" Foo-ah! or hey, there's one where I watched where it was like, "Yeah, we said the countdown's 10, right? Well, too bad, I already counted. Zoom, they'll make a crack, hit the button, and shoot you out. It's pretty great. Yeah, it's like, and this is like, I started getting more Six Flag Magic Mountain or Six Flag General TikToks after this, Katie, because of course I was looking at videos going into it, and like the snark is like apparently universal at Six Flags from the looks of things. Because there's of course I work at Six Flags meme from the official account. And it was like, it was a little bit of that. It's like of course I work holidays or something. So, it was a nice park. They had about 14 coasters. Definitely a lot of them were closed. I'd say maybe 4 to 6 of them were closed at a time.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't not do the crazy Tatsu or the X2. Well, we definitely rode the Batman and the Riddler and the Scream and the the ninjas and and things like that. So it was good. It was nice. It was a shorter day, but it was a nice bit. Nice park. Looks like it could use a little bit of TLC on things here and there for the most part. But I think it was nice for a nice extra day and hang out with our friend Amanda, who's usually in the chat rooms here, in person while we were in California. So, and this is a place that this was my fourth Baja California event where I've stayed and drove high. Six Flags Magic Mountain every day that I drove up into the mountains to do these events, and it was really cool to finally participate in that park that I've been staring at for the last 8 years, really. So, and there's something very special you got from there because there's a DC Universe area.
You could buy capes.
Yes.
Everybody's cape. There were so many capes. I bought 2 capes.
Got a Wonder Woman pink cape there, and I like this one. I like the white.
Yeah.
I like the white ones as well. So there you go. And there was a Supergirl. There was a Supergirl walking around too. We saw a bug.
Nobody talked to her.
No, nobody talked to her. And I'm just like, it's just like at a Comic-Con.
Yes.
So,
we did. You forgot to say we did the most important thing, which was eat funnel cake.
Yes, the funnel cake was pretty crazy. And was that ice cream that was on it?
It was ice cream. It was Oreo. So it had ice cream. It was a funnel cake with ice cream, Oreo bits, Oreo cream, and whipped cream.
Mm-hmm. It was a perfect way to end the day. So apparently, the funnel cake was the big thing everybody needed to go for. Of course, there's a whole Bugs Bunny world and everything like that. I love the motif around the DC area. We did go. They had kind of a indoor. Line. There's one of the restaurants is the Ace of Clubs, which is something from if you know it from Metropolis and in Superman. The Superman ride and the Wonder Woman were closed. Don't touch. There's Batmobile. There's the Wonder Woman set up, of course, with the closed thing. So, but it was really cool. I liked the little bit of what they had. It was a nice little thing. I'm sure again, this is one of those. I'm sure it's better in season when the park is a little more full. So they probably they would. I would imagine they'd have some more characters out and stuff for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool. It was a nice little diversion there. So and we got to add one more theme park to our list here, as we're definitely going to some more this year. I was telling you, it's really hard to see the animatronics in the Justice League thing after going to Disney a couple of times.
Oh yeah,
they just seem very like yeah, they kind of moving, aren't they? So, I'm sorry. After the guy turned around and looked at you and then wielded a lightsaber in Rise of the Resistance, I'm like, oh, that's it. Can't tell me that's not a dude over there, right? So, awesome. What was your favorite part of the day other than funnel cake?
Ooh, I was like, oh man, it's like you took away the funnel cake option. The pretzel was good. We had a giant pretzel too. We ate. We kept reasonably hydrated. I don't know. I thought the Batman ride was fun. Like it was just a fun ride, and yeah, I think that was it. I mean, it was way more exciting than I expected because it's like, oh, we're the #1 thrill park, and I'm like, okay, sure. And then it was still cool. Like I think they had the most roller coasters.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to compare it to Cedar Point. We are looking to go to Cedar Point hopefully this season. I've scheduled. I don't. Hopefully when we come back from one of these Michigan trips, but I feel like we might just go up. So at this point, it's like 3 hours away. It's nothing to go to it, right? So, and now we're very experienced. Let's see what else is happening here.
Is it tip time?
It is not tip time yet. I wanted to show you one more thing. Of course, we've seen the robot Transformers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grimlock, Optimus Prime. There wasn't a Bumblebee, right? But now there's a Megatron. Here's a video that Podner shared of is the tank is tank Megatron. Okay, so don't get terribly excited, but it is one of those voice activated It's going to transform itself. Oh, it extends. Whoa.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ladies. Yeah, and it completely transforms by itself into Megatron. Can somebody give me a video of all three of these guys fighting each other?
Yes.
Now you have a nemesis. Now you have a nemesis. Katie, are you trying to do something for our tip on my watch right now?
I've done this is twice, and I just have to keep hitting the screen.
Okay. We'll get to that in just a moment, but after we watch this transforming Megatron. So now I love that this thing is growing. I gotta be not quite as excited as Optimus Prime and Grimlock. I mean, those are
No.
like near and dear to our souls, right?
Very much so.
So, but there's another big toy for you guys out there.
Doesn't it ask you like how you doing, or what is
Yes, but
the
in
phrasing?
a very Megatron way, right? So,
Yeah, but it's like very supportive. Like
it's supportive.
like how's
Everybody
it
needs
going?
an emotional support Megatron, right?
Yep.
So hey, we're going to that movie. Have you seen the Transformers 1 trailer yet?
Ooh,
It's
no, I don't think
the
so.
CG one where it's Optimus and Megatron before they were Optimus and Megatron and they were buddies.
Oh,
Buddy
like in
work
college?
robots. Yeah, it's like it is kind of Transformers the college years, it seems, right? But it's CG. It introduces like RC and Bumblebee and stuff like that. I think Chris Hemsworth is maybe Optimus Prime. Or Orion Pax. I'm sorry because we're throwing back that far. You got to see that one. I'm trying to see if the phrasing is. This does apparently range from 1,200 to 899 to 1,200. So for special features. So and the voice commands. Can't see the voice commands here. But I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of this through the time. Katie, first I'm going to give a shout out to our friends at Slice on Broadway. 5,
Yes.
6, 7 locations. I don't know right now, but I know if you go to Taco Mania this week, we'll go plug to our friends that enjoy wrestling for this. There is a Slice on Broadway right down there. Get your beers. Maybe you're tired of tacos. Maybe you tacoed out for the day. Head over from Slice on Broadway right there in the South Side Works this Sunday. Check out our Taco Mania friends over there. So go check them out. SliceOnBroadway.com. Thank you, these guys, for supporting the show for well over a decade. And now I don't need to have to worry about getting food while I'm setting up the show. And delivers a nice salad for Katie as well.
Yes,
Thank
I
you so
enjoy their
much for the support,
salads.
yeah, guys. Even if we're mixing up the requests. And they're buddies, and they've been following us. They were following us on the WrestleMania trip. And I had a good conversation with them tonight about that. Katie, you have the first tip.
Not to reconnect. What are you doing? So, yeah, something we did at Magic Mountain that we surprisingly never have done, at least consistently have done, is our watches have this magical feature called a walkie-talkie feature. So we were just, you hold the button down and I'm talking to you. And like we had a lot of fun with this. At one point, Amanda, we connected with Amanda, and she was in the bathroom, and I was like, "Are you in the bathroom tinkling?" Because we're adults. But yes, we had a lot of fun communicating while we were on that ride that goes upside down and goes really fast.
The full throttle, yes.
Yeah, full throttle. I held down the talk button to Amanda, who was sitting in a restaurant, and, and was just like, "Brr," as long as I could hold it down. And it was like, as we took off, part of the loop, and then I couldn't hold on to it anymore. But yeah, she definitely could
She
hear
just heard
all the screaming.
screaming as we went. We need to do this. So we have a trip planned with our mothers to Dollywood. And we're going to have to do the same thing with them.
That's so
We're
funny.
putting everybody, because your mom's got an Apple Watch, right?
Nope, she does not.
Oh, no.
Nope, she's free from her technology constraints.
Oh, no. Well, then she'll have to listen in on my mother's watch as we are screaming our heads off on a ride. So the walkie-talkie, it works pretty good. Apparently, I thought this was kind of locational because you were walkie-talking me as we were relatively close on the highway driving back last night.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah. So, but here you're at your place across. Well, we'll just say cross town.
Yeah.
And it's completely working. So that's very interesting and kind of scary. So the thing is, like, it's kind of buried for you to open the app. So you really should, if you're using it for a day. Like, I have it loaded here as one of my, what do you call these, complications, I think, on your Apple Watch, and then you just go into it. And I'm trying to tap it in reverse here. There we go. And load it up. And now, hey, Katie, we're on the podcast. Oh, no. I didn't do it right. Hey, Katie, we're on the podcast. I can't. I think Zoom.
Yes.
I think Zoom's like having her roll out, but still, you get the idea. So
Yeah.
a nice little feature. I think it's going to work. It's hard in the park sometimes because you just hear this rah, 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 on your wrist, and you feel the kind of gesture, the tap gesture on it. But I think if you have an AirPod in, it's going to work a lot better, right? So,
Yes.
which actually, ooh, that could be really handy on productions. No, I'm thinking about it. If everybody's got an Apple Watch, so I got to think about that. Got to think about that one. Anyways, so my tip, I was really impressed with. I remember seeing something like this before, right? So I was posting something the other day, and I noticed some different stuff, and I realized I need to do this on the phone, and I don't know where my phone went. Where'd my phone go? Oh, there it is. It's hiding behind my laptop. Hello. So one of the biggest pet peeves with a lot of people these days is the idea that you feel like you need to post on like 12 different social medias or something, right? All right. I mean, Katie, you probably have experienced this. Nope. No, not at all. No, 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 no. So I noticed this, and this appears to be mostly in the app, the Facebook app. There is a little bit of a cross post situation here. So let me move over here for you guys on the video version with me. Let me get rid of this stuff. And then if we're going to go to the Facebook app, and there's just a bunch of stuff loading. I need to not use my mouse for this. You go in and load, and notice at the top here, you have the public album, and then you see an icon for Threads and Instagram, and you can turn them on. And you can just say testing for the AwesomeCast, and then I can add a picture to it, and let's just go ahead and take a picture of myself, I guess. We'll go ahead and do this thing. There you go. Katie, you want to pose? There you go. And then we'll go ahead and post that, and there, and I'm going to type AwesomeCast right, and testing. Let's change that to testing cross post. Boom, and then it is going to go out from there, and you hit your post, and now this is going to be on my Instagram, my Threads, and because of a fun little site that we've been talking about in the past called if this then that, if.com, this will go to also my Twitter, because my Twitter looks at my, or at least if this then that, looks at my Instagram to see that my posts are being cross-posted over. Now, it doesn't happen right away all the time, but there you go. There, it's posted over on my Instagram. If I pop over on my Threads, hopefully I'm in the right account here, you'll see that I'm also over there. So Facebook, at least for themselves, has settled this problem for the most part, right? And we'll see if my Twitter has also updated from here. So now there's no longer, at least like you have sort of a vector for, see if that's updated. It has not updated yet. That takes a moment for the if this and that. But if you're not worried about timeliness, it's kind of a great feature for that. And then as they go, so basically all I'm missing, I just really wish it would cross post also to Blue Sky and Threads, not Threads, Mastodon, and then I would be good to go as far as things go there. So that's, I feel like that's really handy. Katie, are there any caveats that you're kind of seeing with this process in your first impression here?
Ooh, like things to do with it or things not to do with it?
Things not to do with it. I mean, there should be some sensitive things like, you have to be conscious of, like, if you're doing a lot of pictures or something like that, things are gonna. I think Instagram's still gonna crop you.
Yeah.
Like make up how it's gonna crop and things like that.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that yet. But I mean, I feel like it's inevitable. It's going to miscue or something like that. And honestly, like it just did the picture full screen here, and then the ones I did earlier. Well, no, that's not that. Like, it kind of did things. It's going to pick a direction, but
Yeah.
thankfully, most of mine were vertical from my walk earlier today, and it worked out pretty well. So these are the first two posts that I've done with this. So I'm really kind of curious to see what happens with that. And there's my Six Flags post. So, because really it is just kind of like thinking about what that trickle down is, right? What's my point of contact? It used to be Twitter, and Twitter would kind of spread out everywhere when APIs work that way. Or you go to Hootsuite and just hit boom, boom, boom and go out. But this seems to be the latest one. Will this last? Who knows with Facebook, right? So, but at least that's one last muscle, and you're still participating on all those platforms. And obviously threads are coming into all the platforms as well, so at least they're being relatively holistic with this situation. If this is what we're going to be stuck with here for social media,
Yeah,
so
definitely. Yeah, I like it. Oh, I thought of another tip whenever we're done.
go for it.
I have a social media tip. Okay, so something we're seeing, and I work with you, Doug, off media. We represent several clients, or several of my clients. But one of our something that we are starting to notice is Facebook is very much following up on if you're sharing a photo that you did not take, if you're sharing a video you did not take, and you do not properly credit the person, even if you're not tagging them, but if I put out, for example, we talk about a stat, medevac, and the helicopter pics. If we're not crediting who sent us those particular photos, we can get into trouble for that now because they're very much paying attention to that. Even Canva, if you're using Canva Pro or even Canva, they have a variety of images that you can use, like images that you can't use, whatever royalty-free images. If you're using that, you can still get hit dinged by Facebook. And if something like that would happen, you are going to be required to, because it's happened to one of our clients, you are going to have to say when you downloaded that image, where you downloaded it from, prove that it came from Canva. So really be careful about using other content that you are not directly creating yourself.
Interesting.
I mean, as long as it's someone within your organization, that's one thing. But if you're, sharing something on wrestling, this video, I think we're seeing a lot of that with when people are just sharing videos willy-nilly of cat videos. They're like, Owl Kitty is one I see a lot of, where somebody else is like, look at these fun cat videos is their name, and then they're sharing an Owl Kitty without crediting that particular creator. So I think this is what we're seeing in response to that. But yeah, so just kind of make sure you're tagging folks.
Is this a Pages situation, or is this a general Facebook person situation, do you think?
We've seen it with Pages so far. There's been two of our clients that have been hit thus far.
Okay.
One was a Canva image, and one was, oh gosh, where did they get that image from? It was something that it was a picture they had shared. Honestly, I think it was a photo, like a classic photo they had from the organization that got dinged. Like, oh, who did this? Why didn't you credit the person who took it, the photographer?
So are they things you're modifying, or are they things that you're posting just a picture up out of stock along with text?
Both. So the Canva
okay.
one was part of a graphic, and then the other one sounds like it was just a photo.
Because that's what I'm curious, because we use for Fishing Without Bait for our covers, we've been using the photos section of motionarray.com. So I'm wondering if that's something that we would get dinged with eventually and have to figure that out. So, but also I'm kind of wondering, because a lot of times we will make clips from the wrestling shows that we post, obviously, through indiewrestling.us, but then we share that with the promotions and the wrestlers so they can promote it themselves. So is this something I should be concerned with there, or is this something that's already in their system? I don't know. Like are they going to...
I'm wondering if they've started amping it up a little bit. I wouldn't be concerned until it happened, if that makes sense. I wouldn't, if it's not, no, not that I'm saying that, I'm putting it out in the universe, but I would not panic. Yeah. And you might just have to say, I got it from here, if they decide to say something, but it's not they're going to shut you down. This is not a notification you get where your trademark has been, you've infringed upon somebody's trademark. We're shutting your page down in the next 24 hours.
No, those are all BS. Those are all BS. So
yes.
don't ignore those, of course.
but it'll come in your Facebook inbox.
Okay.
We
Okay.
all have Facebook inboxes. That's where it'll come from. It's not, like I said, it's not a thing where they're. I mean, if you probably repeatedly do it, there's probably going to be an issue. But as of right now, this is
Mm.
just the thing that we're keeping on, just on our radar.
Okay. Hey, things are going to change. It's kind of inevitable. Copy production is going to come over to images.
Hmm.
Curious if there's some application with AI in this as well. So, and that's also if you get it from a repository like Canva or something like that. Although it feels weird that Canva would do that because they kind of want to make things easier for you, and you start getting dinged with that, it kind of gets. So I know when I use music from Motion Array, I can very specifically ask them. I can say they can tell me if there's copyright ID on YouTube with the music that I'm using, or if
Hmm.
it's not. So I can work that out. And we've gone dinged for things like that. And like one of my clients, like I use a music track for them, and they're going to get like a monetization share or something on their thing, which doesn't affect anything really, and I don't think they don't mind. It's never been an issue for the kind of content that we're providing there. But then for not this show, but for Mayhem Show, we have an artist that we use. We know them. They're from Pittsburgh, Basic Sickness. And for a while, just like me back in the day, because I still get the checks from it, for a whole $5 every 6 months, from CD Baby still exists, which a lot of
Whoa.
independent artists would go to get their CDs officially mastered and eventually start putting on a streaming service and stuff. But that also gets Content ID. If somebody wants to take my old rap album that I'm not getting into right now, what it's called, and
Crap.
wants to use it for something, like they might get dinged for something like that. So, and it's just part of the system. So, yeah, we've had weird ones where it like Vimeo started tagging us for music from Motion Array that we definitely use and give us like a hard copyright issue on it. And it's just for like the intros for the shows, which is wild considering what music's used in the shows. So I don't know what's happening there, and I'm hoping that gets resolved soon for what we were doing for indie wrestling. So, anyways, there's some good tips for you. Hope that is helpful. Hope you guys have enjoyed a Wednesday edition, a later week edition of this. Again, we do intend to be broadcasting live from some hotel room somewhere in Michigan. So I try to make it look. Katie, my challenge is to make it look as least awkward as possible when we do this from the same location. Okay,
Yeah.
because we've done ones where we both are like just sitting on the edge of a bed, and it felt and looked so awkward when I look back at the video. I
It's
was like,
so bad.
I need to make sure I get a hotel room with multiple chairs in it or something, or maybe
Something.
or do I set up? Maybe I set up in the lobby. There was a lot of people hanging out in the lobby all weekend at the Hampton Inn we were in.
So weird.
was
It
so
was a swingers
social.
event. It had to be.
It was a swinger hotel. It was
Yeah.
there was some evidence of that. I think everybody's looking at us why we're not joining the party. I guess so. Yeah. That's world life. Anyways,
One of us could be in the car. Like, I'm traveling. We don't have to say where.
yeah, exactly. So, well, thank you so much, Katie. KatieDudas.com.
Yeah.
I'm getting used to it. Getting
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to it. For everything going on with you and your story and everything. So, and of course, you'll be traveling. You'll be hitting that marathon. You've been going for tacos and beers, and then we're going to the track.
We're going to the track. That's on the track. It sounds like we're going to a race,
I
like a
know.
horse race.
Like we're gonna
to
go
bet
put
on.
some money on the horses, on the dogs. They still greyhound races. I feel like that's not a thing they would do anymore. Anyways,
I don't know.
it's something
I
from.
saw the Greyhounds were at the last part of the marathon last year. I'm hoping they're there. They were dressed in little outfits.
Nice.
So cute.
Anyways, go check all that out at Sorgatron on all your social medias to see about what our adventures have been. I know some people have been said they've been seeing our adventures in the desert here over the last weekend. So that's going to be our last West Coast for a while. So we're very, very East Coast localized. It's like Michigan, Charlotte, Pennsylvania, and that's like about it, I think, for the next several months. Ohio, the West Virginia shows, of course. So we'll work it out from there. So thank you, everybody. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.